Hello there, this is Reece Russell, and you're watching the Weekly Steelchair.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms, it's the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me laying face down.
Hey everybody. How are we all? How are you all doing? Better yet, how's your day going? Tell me all about it. Tell me how you're all doing. It's good to see people in the chat. Alexa Chester, Ashton, Zach Killo. I hate cheese, but I'll say it back to you. Back at you, mate. Zodiac as well. Good to see you. Glad you're having a good day, Chester. Glad to hear it. It really is good to see people in the chat. For the final time. We're certainly going to make this show a good one. I guarantee that. And I thank you all for being in the stream. Because this channel is nothing without its audience. You guys make it important. And I can't thank any of you enough. I really can't. I can't thank any of you enough. And I'm certainly grateful for everybody that does watch this channel. No, the world title, I believe, will still main event the show. They won't have the unified title as the main event match, I don't think. I don't expect it to be the main event at all. I'd be very surprised if it was the main event. Not essentially. It wouldn't matter. It's not disrespectful to Kyle Fletcher. This is only his first main event. And there will be more for him. Hey, Maria. See if- No, not a good idea. He's not ready yet. Like, make no mistake, he isn't there yet. And it would be very risky to do that to him. Because you're expecting someone who's not yet been in a main event scene to be the world champion, and he's not there yet. It will ruin him. And I absolutely will not. Like, I will not want to see that for anybody. When you're not ready, you get found out. That's how I know he's not ready. For an excellent wrestler that he is, he's still got a lot to learn. And that's not a bad thing. That is totally different. That is totally different. It's not even a sense of you're comparing them together. The landscape is different. Not only that, I'm going to ask a very simple question, and this is where this is where I'm consistent. What has Kyle Fletcher done to deserve to be world champion right now? The answer is nothing. He is not there yet. He's barely been in the. He's never once been in a main event. Like a main event for a world title or any singles title in a main event match. And we just yeah, I agree. Hangman's world title reign hasn't been particularly great. I won't argue that. I won't argue that at all. I think there's moments where his world title reign has been good, and there's times where his world title reign is flattered to deceive. But there is no need, in my opinion, to say, "Oh, let's make it so that he gets the world title shot." Goldberg definitely wasn't deserving of the world title match. That was a decision they made, and they paid massively for it. Whereas Kyle Fletcher has so many main eventers ahead of him, to put him in that position, is it risky? Yes. Is it admirable? Absolutely. Is it the right call? No. I feel like if we hang him out to dry as well, it could ruin him. And I'm not saying this because I don't want to be proven wrong or I don't want to be proven right. I'm saying it because this is just too big a risk. Anyone else wants Hangman Page to be the world title holder? Do it. I'm absolutely not supporting it. Yeah, he did win his debut match. He was also an established star for a long time. Kyle Fletcher is not established in that same capacity. Is it a bold move? Yes, but it's very risky. I would like to agree that Fletcher was better than Finn back then, but he wasn't. Fletcher is better than Finn is now, but 10 years ago, he was nowhere near his level. Finn Balor, literally in that same period, was regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the world. We're not going to forget that. We can't just forget that. For me, you let Kyle Fletcher have a taste of what a main event is. You don't set him up as a sink or swim moment because that's cruel. But you put him in a position where he will then get to sink or swim. You put him in the main event, brilliant. That's completely fine. No problem. But there's no way that he should be winning the world title in his very first attempt. What's up, Fernando? And I know for a fact Tony Khan won't do it either. There's absolutely no way Tony Khan puts the world title on Kyle Fletcher this weekend, but he will keep him in the main event scene, which is exactly what you do. That's exactly how you build him into that position. That's what you do with talent like this. You don't rush them into this spot. You cement them in the spot. And annoyingly, that is a cycle that has continued to happen in pro wrestling for a long time. And quite frankly, that buck has to stop. He will, but not in the triple threat. There's no way Okada loses on Saturday. Okada will retain this weekend. No, he's not. MJF is not the only choice. Quite frankly, we shouldn't be rushing to a choice. Anyway, now that's cleared up. Let's move on for the last time. For the last time. AEW this week begins with Tony Schiavone in the ring. Tony Schiavone calls out both Hangman Page and Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis to complete the contract signing. Hangman confirms he's had a stipulation requested and added to the match, which has been agreed upon. The stipulation being if any member of the Callis family interferes, Kyle Fletcher will be stripped of the TNT title. Again, that is a smart way to get to something. You can use the removal of the TNT title to get him as world champion. Bobby Lashley will, I doubt he'll ever be a world champion in AEW. I doubt it. Kyle Fletcher, despite being told of the stipulation, he was insistent on it. He was very happy with this. His confidence is there. And this is where like you need to learn what is and what isn't a main event talent. And what is and what isn't a world champion elect. And this is where Kyle Fletcher shows he's a main eventer, but he's not in that right position yet to be world champion. It doesn't make him a terrible wrestler. It doesn't make him a failure. It doesn't mean he's not good enough. It's none of that. It's you learn from the experience. This is his first ever singles main event match. And he's going to prove himself. What's up, Nick? He's going to prove himself. He did cut a great promo. He absolutely did cut a great promo. And this is what I'm saying all along. He's showing himself spectacularly. This is not a dismissal of Kyle Fletcher. This is what I'm trying to get people to just now you're gonna see what I mean. You're gonna see what I mean in a second. You've got an established main eventer who's now in his second run as world champion, who is openly challenging his naive, overconfident as well, rookie singles talent, and he's goading him into removing his opportunity. By taking away his confidence, you take away what it is to be him as a main eventer. In order for him to succeed, he has to show himself. That's why he has been openly challenged on two separate means that forces his hand. Kyle Fletcher's got the hand forced, not Hangman Adam Page. But making him overconfident is a risk. This pay-per-view has no build. I'm trying to find the promo videos and it's killing me to find decent content. Well, there is a build. It's just not a conventional build. It's not conventional. It's rather different. Could well be his name. What's up, Josiah? I feel like going back through history is a problem. You go back through history on someone to try and facilitate a point, it's not gonna get the end means. But I like the fact that we're gonna see some confidence, and it may end up being the match that makes Kyle Fletcher, who knows? Absolutely, he does stand out, and he's trying to make himself look more, which isn't easy for him. It really isn't. But to give him his first main event when he's only been a singles wrestler for nearly 2 years, for me, it's a bold move. But I still think he's gonna have a good showing. And I'm eager to find out how it goes. That's because that's because Roderick Strong is married to Marina Shafir. It's not stupid at all. Like, that is his wife. They've been together since 2018. They've been married since 2018, I should say. But Marina Shafir 100% is married to Roderick Strong. We'll find out if it is that, Maria. We're gonna find out. People did know they were married. And it's not dumb at all. It's actually subtle moments like that that people don't actually give credit to. Anyway, speaking of Roddy, he is in action in the opening contest up against John Moxley. Fernando, no one's saying they should. What they're doing is actually important. It's the subtlety that actually shows importance, that actually matters. It's not about, oh yeah, they're married, let's give a shit. No, that's not what it is. Do you not notice that this was the first time that the Death Riders actually broke character? It's those little things that actually get you. Those little things show, like, yeah, just a little hint of spontaneity. Funnily enough, this is the sort of shit that I praise WWE for. What's up, Roy Sheen? Because what's the one thing people have been saying about the Death Riders for quite a while since Moxley lost the world title? That's how you know if you pay attention. That's how you know if it's important. Ever since he's lost the title, what's the one thing people have been constantly debating or questioning about? Sup, Tina? It's not about making it work or not. You're glossing over the point. You're missing it right there. Thank you. Someone's listening. Someone's paying attention. Thank you. Yes. The question is leadership. And what happens when you make someone break character? I mean, that word is pathetic. But yes. I'm actually going to put it in one big word on the screen. It does have everything to do with Moxley. Marina Shafir is his right hand in the faction. Marina Shafir is literally the go-to for John Moxley. She breaks character even for a second with her own husband on TV. Already you question the vulnerability of the faction. Vulnerability. And what happens when you're vulnerable? What happens when you're vulnerable? Soy bien, Tina. ¿Y tú? Thank you, Zodiac. Thank you. Bingo. I'm not reaching. The fact is, I'm telling you what is right there. Do you know why it's not going to fail? Because the minute the Death Riders show more vulnerability, they're going to get picked apart and they're going to be replaced as the top faction by the family. That's how I know it's not going to fail. One little spot, one little split second, is the difference between a strength in a faction and a faction losing everything. So, Roderick Strong, you have done one huge favor. And I absolutely agree with that, Josiah. You can say I'm reaching, but what's right in front of you is right in front of you. Roderick Strong isn't the answer. He simply helped put something in motion. What's up, James? Good to see you. Let me tell you how I know it's not going to fail. Because this happens every single time with every single faction. And it always happens. Clear as day. A faction will show the slightest bit of vulnerability and then they get picked apart. Bang, bang, bang. Like a sniper. And you can bet I'm not wrong. Fernando, you're missing the point, dude. You're missing the point. The match itself obviously is ruined by Wheeler Yuta because again, Wheeler Yuta is a waste of space. But this is a good wrestling match between two people who haven't wrestled one on one in 15 years. And they actually made it feel like it had been 5 minutes. Really good wrestling match. And even more so is the fact that it was won by submission. Another big submission win for the former world champion that he actually needed. He needed a big win because he hasn't had one in some time. I also really liked the involvement of Brian Danielson on commentary for this match, especially. His commentary on both sides, selling the heel and supporting the babyface, was fantastic. Brian Danielson right now is officially fully cemented in that commentary team that he can't be taken off that table. You genuinely can't take him off that table. And he actually deserves it. It's actually very well done. And I absolutely commend it. And I thought the interview with Darby Allin was excellent. We have another singles contest here. Obviously, there is a promo package for MJF versus Mark Briscoe and Tables and Tacks on Saturday. No problem. We've got a one-on-one match, Shelton Benjamin and well, one member of the Muppet crew. Just kidding. I do like Tonga Leona. This is a hard-hitting, fast-paced matchup. Ricochet, MVP, Each individual group member are all ringside standing by their partner. And it was exactly the way you would expect it to go. Hard hitting, bit of speed, and destruction. And I was impressed. I was very impressed by it. One thing that's absolutely going to happen at All Out, I think Excalibur is so incredibly boring. I wish I could say he is, but I don't care about Excalibur anymore. I would remove him from commentary as well. I would honestly pack his ass up. And I don't hate Excalibur. I absolutely don't hate the guy. I actually think he's one of the most genuine commentators out there. But I actually think it's time to move him on in a different role. A role they're actually missing. A role that he actually would be excellent for. But for me, I would change things up a little bit. They've already made one big change. Now they need to make the other. And this represents it. And on this weekend alone, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see one major thing this weekend. MVP is taking the pin on Saturday. Ricochet is gonna pin MVP in the middle of the ring. And you can bank on that. Cash Wheeler's got a gun, but Cash Wheeler can cut a promo. No, I have a different idea. I actually think right now my commentary team would be different, unpredictable. And it's nothing to do with Brian Danielson. I actually think right now, you look at the strengths of each commentator. Excalibur, don't need him. I know, Rashford scored. He's still a wanker. He's still an overrated piece of shit. So I don't care. But what I do care is change. And this is what I'm saying. I actually look at Excalibur right now. Excalibur's best commentary performances aren't on Dynamite. For me, Excalibur, I know exactly what I would do with him. This is what I like about him. So this is where you see things a little bit different. TV, he has a lot more of leading to do. He's expected to lead a lot more in terms of the TV segments, the builds on product, and then he has to showcase it in a different landscape. He has to do all that whilst maintaining change above him and around him. And then there's pay-per-view Excalibur. And when it comes to commentary, Excalibur is like tailor-made for pay-per-view. Not many commentators are like that. Some commentators are exceptional on TV, exceptional on pay-per-view, and then you've got the rare few that are exceptional on both. Excalibur is one of those that actually is perfect on pay-per-view. On TV, hot and cold. No worries, Roy Sheen. Good to see you. And just see, James, you see my point. It's not a bad thing on him. So what I would do, personally, I think AEW, in my opinion, should do a broadcast double for TV, and then because they like the trio commentary, you do commentary for a trio on pay-per-view. It's funny how you're attacking JR when no one's mentioned JR. And I wasn't even going to suggest JR. What is that? What is the need? I think you're going on a level that may not be necessary. And missing my point. That's fair. I think JR will pack up soon anyway. JR for me is just somebody who just does main event call matches on pay-per-view, but that's it. I don't think he needs to do anything else. If it was up to me, on Dynamite TV, I'm doing Danielson and Taz as my commentary duo. On pay-per-view, I'm doing Nigel McGuinness, Excalibur, and Ian Riccaboni. That's what I would do. I look at how they feed off each other. That's what I would do. They don't need to have a trio on the desk for Dynamite. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. Taz is an excellent color commentary. And if you really look at it, he's shown that. Is he goofy? Absolutely. But he's also a good commentator. You could also, instead of Taz, if that's such an issue, you could put Riccaboni beside Danielson on a Dynamite. And then you can change up on the pay-per-view. But Excalibur would be my pay-per-view guy. He would be my pay-per-view lead. And that's where his best performances are. You look at everything he's done commentary-wise in AEW, the best shit that Excalibur does is on pay-per-view. He has a good commentary, calling it on September to Remember last night, no problem. No problem. An actual pay-per-view, you see him for what he's best at. Ian was excellent in Ring of Honor. Taz is also excellent wherever else he's been. He's shown it. You make the best use of what you have in the right way. But you can't tell me Excalibur's good for TV. Absolutely not. That's the enjoyment I get. Speaking of enjoyment, Cash Wheeler's got a gun, but he can cut a hell of a promo. Oh, he's not. No surprise. He's still a fool. Watch him get over. Just watch him get overhyped. Wow, he scored a double for Barcelona. So would I. He's still not good enough. Nothing will win me over with him. Nothing. The only thing that's let down by this entire segment is Dax Harwood. Not because he's a bad promo. But he conveyed too much emotion. He conveyed too much emotion that the sense made no reality. I'm not going to praise him. He could score 4 goals against Newcastle, and I still don't care. Because after this, he'll go for like 5-6 games without scoring. Adam Cole at the desk, I wouldn't mind that at all. Brilliant commentator. I love Adam Cole on commentary. Tell you who else I like on commentary. It's going to shock people. Chris Jericho. I like him on commentary as well. Copeland, his half of this segment was good, but he too was overshadowed by one line by Christian Cage. Great conveying of history between Cash Wheeler and Adam Copeland. Honestly, back and forth between those two was excellent. Christian Cage stole the show with one line. Yeah, Cage and Cope. This is when people try to tell me he's not the best heel in wrestling. Try and tell me differently, because no one is better than Christian Cage right now. You can bank on that. If he does stick with him, I would put him as commentary. He's awesome. Yeah, I would not mind that at all. And they would bounce off each other so well because they're rivals. Yeah, I would honestly listen to those two all day. It'd be worth it. I thought the punch to his face was absolutely incredible. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think one of them is actually close to breaking out on his own. I actually think Cash Wheeler would do well on his own. Doesn't make them sound stale, but they're actually trying. I actually like listening to Cash Wheeler speak. I actually do. Young Bucks, however, they are in tag action. Dax Dax for me on the mic is the weak link of the two because he conveys too much emotion, and that stops him from making a good point. Whereas every time Cash Wheeler speaks, he makes excellent points and he doesn't waste it. Dax does. Doesn't make him a bad wrestler. It just shows if he was on his own, he would struggle. Cash Wheeler wouldn't. Bucks versus the not so injured Bang Bang Gang. Emotion is important, yes. It is important. What I'm saying is too much emotion prevents it from coming across as authentic. It comes across as too much of you can't disassociate and read between any line. Whereas if you have little bits of emotion here and there, and then you have more impact behind it, you get a strong promo. Dax Harwood, ideally, last night, if you look at his promo, he was trying to be too much like Copeland and be himself. When you look at the rebuttal, one or the other, you can't be what's across from you. That's the difference. Copeland displayed emotion. He also knew when to reel it in. That's a lot of experience. That's what Dax Harwood doesn't have. And the same plethora doesn't have it. And that isn't his fault. Like, that's actually something that's out with his control. And I actually feel sorry for him in that respect. I feel sorry for him. Because when you look at Dax Harwood, in terms of promos, they didn't really used to give him a lot to say. Or when he did speak, he was constantly interrupted. He never got to sink his teeth into something. Whereas Cash Wheeler, he does get that. That might be a confidence thing, that could be a structural thing, that could be deliberate between them both. Who knows? But Cash Wheeler can disassociate his emotion from his words really easily. That's what makes him a very good promo. You put Dax Hart. I'm actually going to be very serious right here. If FTR was not to like become a totally not do the DIY and completely split on each other, but if they just decided they want to be singles wrestlers, but team up now and again, if you put both of them in the mid card scene, Cash Wheeler would win a TNT title in less than 2 months. Dax Harwood, on the other hand, maybe 6, because of how it's been conveyed upon him. And I'm not knocking him at all. I actually like Dax Harwood. He's actually somebody that I have a lot of time for, because I appreciate his approach to wrestling. I appreciate his approach to promos. But it's the element that can catch you out. Cash Wheeler's got it. Dax Harwood, not so much. I actually think, personally, this is why they don't need Stokely Halfway. Because Cash Wheeler could do a lot. Cash Wheeler could do so much of the talking that if they really gave it to Dax, he could deliver the killer single shots. Are the Hardys the best at tag and single success? No. They're not, unfortunately. If you look at the best singles and tag success, that is Christian and Copeland by a landslide when it comes to tag team success. And then a single, it's Copeland and Cage. Considering what they've won between them, it's so hard not to say it's either or. The Hardys are up there, though. I think if you look at it as a whole, I'd say they're the top 2. Who else you put in the bracket is an interesting one. But I would say it's Copeland and Cage. Steiners, they had a lot of strong success. I think they were more successful in the tag scene. You could say Harlem Heat. The Steiners didn't have a lot of successful singles from a singles perspective. Well, Rick didn't. Scott did, but Rick didn't do a lot as a single. He didn't win a lot, which is sad, really, because he was good enough. You could potentially say Harlem Heat. The Hart Foundation, sadly, I can't, because it was only Brett that had the success. They did win a tag title. Would you include Shawn Michaels and Levesque for what they won? You could say they were technically a tag team. You could say Jericho and Benoit. Angle and Sting, they were a tag team. You could arguably put them. It doesn't have to be a long tag team. They still had success together. AJ and Kurt. Kenny and Ibushi. There's a lot. It was, but still not enough. Because other teams have won so much more than that. The Steiners were amazing, though. Steiners don't. Not many people really know just how special they were. Mysterio and Kidman, more Mysterio and Kidman was good. I actually thought Billy Kidman was better than Rey Mysterio at one point. At one point, I thought Kidman was miles better than Mysterio, and I like Mysterio. The Guerreros is another one as well, by the way. Jushin Liger and Ultimo Dragon at one point as well. The Lucha Bros obviously had their success, tagging single. Arn and Tully, excellent success. James Storm and Bobby Roode. Beer Money, lots of success. The Motor City Machine Guns have had tag and single success on a grand scale. Obviously, right now they're being used like two shits, but they still have a lot of success. And speaking of success, it was a successful run out for the Bucks. They were ready to go. I don't think anyone's beaten Brodido yet. I think they'll still retain on Saturday. AJ and Daniels, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great shout. Fun tag team. Lots of individual and tag team success. I was laughing when Nick Jackson handed Renee Paquette money. I thought that was funny. Farouk and Bradshaw, yeah. I mean, Bradshaw won 17 hardcore titles. That man's just a stat padder. Sabu and RVD. Yeah, absolutely. Another one as well for you. Okada and Tanahashi. Beast Mortals versus Mascara Dorada. Thank you for this one, because this was fun. This was a whole lot of fun, and I enjoyed it from start to finish. And I thought the ending as well with the shooting star press was excellent, and then the post match segment as well. Takeshita coming out in his zone, really big. Yep, 2-man power trip's another one. They're all out there in terms of individual and successful tag team success. They're all there. Like there's so many. Rock and Jericho, Taker and Austin, Taker and Kane, Taker and the Big Slow. Well, here's a funny one. Short-lived, but it did happen. Taker and Lesnar. Beast Mortals in this one actually did a lot of good with how he projected them. I like how Beast Mortals actually showed Mascara Dorada, and he really put him over in the best way. He made him shine. Really like that. And then as I said, post match angle, I enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent. We're gonna see what happens this weekend. I'm still expecting Okada to win. I think he'll pin Mascara Dorada. Something's gonna happen to. Well, to be fair, you can't have outside interference because, like, regardless, because it's unified rules. But I think you'll have something, probably like some means to take out Takeshita anyway. Speaking of taking someone out, Queen Aminata was taken out for dinner and she got served with no holds barred meat. Yep, absolutely. I thought the promo that Tony Storm had before this match was excellent, especially with two of the three challengers getting some words in. And Thekla just didn't give a shit. That's the woman that you need to pay attention to. Thecla is that woman. Yeah, Saturday's going to be peak. There's so much on. Really good matchup. Really enjoyed it. Thecla did win. Queen Aminata had a very good showing. I did enjoy it. No idea what to expect. Yeah, it was a great promo, absolutely. And for me, the standout was Statlander. And then during the post-match segment, when Tony Storm got involved, Jamie Hayter was the standout for that. She really had Tony Storm clutching at straws. But I don't think Tony Storm loses the title at All Out. I don't. I'm actually not sure who's gonna. I think the closest the Death Riders get to helping her is the minute she joins, people get ejected because of the vulnerability that I brought up earlier on. Mother Wayne, she really showed out for this one because it is Jet Speed versus Sabian and Killswitch. Luchasaurus chance going wild. I don't want her to join either, but it's going to happen. We got a lot of Luchasaurus chants. Kevin Knight really wanted to get in the face of Mother Wayne. Maybe more than that. Sabian slapping Killswitch and then he just walked off was funny. He is going to turn on him. Like, it's going to happen. Like, Jungle Jimbo is going to team up again with Killswitch. But of course, Jet Speed do win this one, and that's the end of it. And of course, backstage, Big Bill question if Eddie Kingston's going to appear at All Out. Quite frankly, I wish he wasn't. Rio versus Robin Renegade. Doesn't last long. Crucifix driver for the win. Then Mercedes Moné comes out. Lovely. They bother. I'll be waiting for their match on Saturday. I think that will be good. I think Robin Renegade would be interesting if Monet developed her own faction or she called herself like Money Corp or something. Obviously, you can't use Money Inc. because that would be infringing a trademark. But Money Corp or something like that that Money could use. I think she could make good use of someone like Robin Renegade and help her become established. And quite frankly, I think she should. No, I don't know. I'm not sure. But she needs to figure it out. Anyway, this should have been a squash match, but it sadly wasn't. Josh Alexander and Hechicero versus two talents that don't even deserve to be there. I'm sorry, but Dante Martin and Darius Martin are absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. They're terrible. They are not good enough to watch. And the fact that they were getting a chance to potentially be in the ladder match on Saturday offends me. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. This should have been something else. This was a joke. I'm glad as well that Hechicero and Josh Alexander absolutely destroyed them because watching them, I was like, nah. I want to see a real dynamic team in this match, and I'm glad that it was Alexander and Hechicero, because the Martin brothers, I don't care. When I watch them, I want to fall asleep because there's nothing unique about them. There's nothing special. This should have been Hechicero and Josh Alexander versus oh wow, who's that? Oh yeah, Crew. I listened to the fans once, not enough. Darius and Dante don't bring anything to this. Hell, I'm surprised that even Scorpio Sky and one of the Martin brothers weren't in the match. He would have made it more interesting. But they're just rinse repeat of so many similarities to other people in wrestling. I think they're likable, but there's nothing unique about them. There's nothing different. It's pretty much the same style of team throughout the whole thing. And then you give them an invite to join the faction. Nah. Top Flight haven't brought anything in a long time. Leo Rush absolutely milks Top Flight in terms of wrestling and character work. He's far better. If they hadn't forced all that crew to, well, the group to separate the two, I would have said Dante Martin with Leo Rush would have been much more effective for this match. Because even out of the four of them, Leo Rush, even on his own, is still better than them. He's still much better. And they're not even getting a look at. And I'm surprised, well, why are we getting this all out? We're getting Daniel Garcia versus Shibata in a tailgate brawl. Why are we rewarding Daniel Garcia with world-class talents? Why is he getting praised? Why is he getting this? This guy sucks. He's genuinely painful to watch, Daniel Garcia. I'm actually looking at the card now. And the card is crazy. At the moment, you've got, well, there's likely to be more. But you've got 3 pre-show matches or 0-hour matches that you've got. You've got the 8-woman tornado brawl. Cameron Shirakawa, Aminata, and Willow Nightingale versus Bane, Ford, and the Triangle of Madness, which is Julia Hart and Sky Blue. You've got Daniel Garcia versus Shibata. You've got the Ops versus the Workhorsemen. God almighty. Then on the main show, I wish I could, but I don't think I can, Fernando. I've gave him so many chances. I will watch to see if he can prove me wrong, however. I will admit that. I will watch to see. But it's hard to give him a chance when he's had so many. If he stops that freaking dance for good, like I never see it again, and he becomes a killer, then I'll smile. I will genuinely smile if he does that. On the main show, you've got Copeland and Cage versus FTR, the Hurt Syndicate versus Command this. Then you've got Money versus Rio for the TBS title, Darby Allin versus Moxley in a coffin match, MJF versus Mark Briscoe, tables and thumbtacks match, no problem. Tony Storm, Hater, Statlander, Fekla in a fatal four-way for the women's world title, excellent. Hangman Page versus Kyle Fletcher, World Championship. Any interference from the Don Callis family, Fletcher will be stripped of his TNT title. Okada versus Takeshita versus Mascara Dorado, which is going to be the best match on the card. Triple threat for the unified title. Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston. And then the fatal four-way ladder match: Brodito versus the Bucks versus Jet Speed versus the Don Callis family. All round strong card. Maybe one or two matches on this card that I really don't care about. But that's one match that's on the main card and one match that's on 0 Hour. So out of 13 matches, only 2 of them I don't care about. I actually like what they've done to at least make an effort with it. And time will tell. Well, to be honest, 2 days from now will tell. Interesting. By the way, it's been confirmed that FTR versus Copeland and Cage will open All Out. And AEW Revolution will run against Saudi Mania in 2027. Well, it's not going to main event. It's been confirmed it's opening the show. I'm surprised. What's up, Nippon? I'm very surprised. I think it's bold. And I think what they want to do is they want to start the whole thing with a huge bang. That's what I think anyway. They really want to make the most of the whole right there immediate impact. Why they're not closing it, I don't know. They're probably still in the main faith that the world title should still be the main. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what's come out. You know what? The fact that he's made such a bold move says a lot. It doesn't matter what he puts in order, they're still going to counter program. You could put the Fatal 4-Way ladder match first. Still doesn't make a difference. Shit's still going to counter it, you know? It's a no-win situation because even if he put that match as a main event, people would still shit on him. And you know they would. Even more so that it would be so obvious. And I watched NXT on Tuesday. I actually watched it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I will never watch it again. I think Tony should main event a I think Tony should main event a pay-per-view if it was in Hollywood. Back to what her character is based on. If it was up to me, I would make the main event the triple threat. I would give the triple threat the main event. I normally would pick a world title match, but I would go with the triple threat personally. I'm eager to see what order they pick on Saturday. Because I've got no clue. I'm eager to find out. And what I'm also eager to figure out is how TNA goes tonight, Ring of Honor. So that is tomorrow. Yes, predictions as well tomorrow. Try not to be exhausted. Um, yeah, speaking of exhausted, I've said it a few times tonight, the final time for the last time. And it is. I appreciate this community that we've built. I appreciate what everybody has contributed for so long and supported us. And it means a lot. Um, I don't know. I don't know. And I appreciate that people really do engage and support on the channel. I do. But I also know that the channel has its moments where it really doesn't do enough. And Last night I said something on, well, not last night, sorry. Tuesday night I said something on the channel, and I instantly regretted it. Not for everybody to see. You didn't see the regret. I regret after the show. I said on Tuesday that find me someone on YouTube that's a better, more engaging content creator than I am. In terms of like fully engages with the audience and listens and gives them a voice. Then I went back and watched an old show of mine I did once. And I actually I watched the whole thing after the show on Tuesday. I sat and watched this show, and this show was about 3 hours long. I sat and watched, and after that video ended, the first thought that came to mind is quit. I thought quit. And I wonder what I can do to make the channel better. Because again, everybody that's involved in the channel is phenomenal. No one's wrong when a very important member of this channel, when they're in the chat or they're on screen, you guys are not wrong when you guys say they're the best host. You're not wrong. I have, on so many occasions, thought about walking away. And before anyone asks, I'm not doing this for attention. I'm not doing this to get sympathy. I'm not doing this for you guys to feel sorry for me. I'm not doing that. I am making one change that I think is the right thing for me. And I am going to stop. So, I have decided that going forward on the channel, we will no longer stream. Am I retiring? No. What I'm actually saying is, as of Wednesdays, we're no longer streaming on a Wednesday. I think, in terms of what I do, I bring so much to the channel, and I love it. I love this channel, but I cannot do 7 days straight anymore. I physically can't. Mentally, I can't. So, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna make a change to the channel that I think might actually benefit everybody. The other day, I did one of those little short check-in stream videos. So I'm gonna do them on a Saturday and a Wednesday. And the Wednesday ones is literally just a conversation space where we don't talk about wrestling. But like, I'm gonna try and make this more. I want to make this channel more than what I say it is. This is not just a channel for professional wrestling. It's a channel for people where they can come and say what they feel, be who they are, and enjoy themselves. And I want you guys to know that you're welcome here every time. I'm not getting rid of you guys. I'm not walking away. But I want this to be more than just what we do. Because that, to me, is far more important. So that's what we're going to do on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, around 8 p.m. UK time, for about 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to do one check-in show. And we're just going to, me and whoever appears, we're just going to talk. And we're just going to have fun and just talk about something else. It could be anything except wrestling. And then every other day, business as usual. Same thing we'll do all the time. I say the last time because Wednesday will no longer be anything to do with it. No more. No more. But hey, you ain't getting rid of me. You think I was gonna go that easily? Come on. I would never do that. This is people have kids. I've got the steel chair. And hey, it wouldn't be me if it wasn't for the Weekly Steelchair. Come on. The Weekly Steelchair is everything to me. I ain't giving this shit up. And I'm not giving up you guys either, because you guys make my days. Just like some other people that are very, very important to me. Mean the world to me. You guys are awesome. I am walking away from that. But what I am going to walk away from is knowing this. Maria, I'm coming for your predictions title. I'm coming for it. And I'm taking it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this evening. You guys are an absolute pleasure. I will see you all tomorrow. Double review, double the preview. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. I will see you all tomorrow. And here's a little fun one for you guys. You've got Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna find out, James. As I was saying, you've got Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. All day, every day. not a day goes by. But what are you going to do when I tell you that the Weekly Steelchair is going to crash on you? So prepare for a concussion. I'm going to smack you in the face. But at the end of the day, I'm going to put you in your place. The Steelchair is everything. You guys are too. But if push comes to shove, I'm gonna make you my bitch. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you good night. But don't worry about it. I'll be back again tomorrow night. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one. And today, our time comes to an end. This has been another exciting stream. Thank you very much for watching. And also, remember, if you get cracked over the head with a steel chair, you're not going to get a concussion. You're just going to come back here. Goodbye.